Yes, people, how are we all? Hope everyone is good today. How are we all? How is everyone? Let me know in the comments how everyone is. New Year, getting into it now. We're already 10 days into it. How's everyone feeling? Fresh still? Probably not. But yeah, I hope everyone's all right. And just before we get into this video, I've spent ages on this, so I hope you enjoy this one. I never do this, but I'm gonna ask really, really quickly if you're not subbed, if you could, simply because I'm so close to 3K, and that would 3,000 would be a beautiful round number, and I'd never ask again, I promise. But I'd appreciate that if you're not. But yeah, let's just get right into this scouting report. I've got two players today, two players that I feel we have a shortage in, and that is centre back. With the potential of Charlie Creswell going, with Liam Cooper getting old, and with Joe Rodon on loan, and Strauch injured currently, you kind of don't really have a plethora of centre backs that are Leeds United players. And there's talk about there being a loan for a centre back, but for me, I think we need to buy one based on the fact that Creswell might leave. Cooper arguably hasn't got long left in his career given his age, and arguably Rodon won't be here next season regardless. He might be playing at a high level, he might be playing in the Premier League, but at a high level. You know what I mean? So we need that next in line for me to go with Strauch and play with Strauch. And I've got two players here, both from the same team in Holland, who I think have been outstanding this season when they've been playing, and one of them's got a lot of high potential. One of them is quite new on the scene, and his trajectory is flying. So I want to show two different sides of it. But yeah, without any further ado, we've talked for too long. Let's get straight into the video. And the first one we have is Xavier Mboyamba, who plays for SC Volendam, and they both do. And yeah, I'm really intrigued with centre backs that play in the Dutch league because there's a lot of a really probably the most in Europe, young talented centre backs that play in the Dutch league. It's a good league for young player development. It always has been, especially for me, centre back position. And I think from looking at scouting it out, there's a lot of names by the way, but these are two I thought would do nicely at Leeds, both given many reasons that we'll go into. But the first one is Xavier, and yeah, and again, just talking about, look at his age, 22 years old, so that ticks well. 6'5", right-sided centre back. So that would kind of be that Rodon and Strauch partnership there, if that makes sense. Valued at 1.5 million. I'm presuming it'd be more than that if we were to buy this player. There's a lot of caveats to this price and his trajectory, and I'll get into that in a minute. But as you can see down there, see where he's been. So he started his career obviously being from Holland, being from the Netherlands. He started in the Netherlands, went to Barcelona as a young guy. Again, played in the youth ranks for quite a while, for years. Went to Chelsea, played a lot in the Premier League too. Didn't, like most people, Ampadu for example, didn't quite make their youth ranks, but instead of staying on loan, decided to move back to Holland. And it's been nothing but a success for him. Moved to FC Volendam, where he currently still is, and he's performing really well and consistently. And for me, it's a talent that kind of have to get now before that wave leaves, and then he's already playing elite. And here's some of the stats from him. So, and there's a lot of context. I want to talk about this season. So he's had a bit of an issue this season. I was looking at his stats and some of the new stuff, and he had an illness that kept him out for about a month. I don't know what it was. I've not looked too deep into it, but he had an illness, so that affected him a lot. And after that, he had a little injury. So he never quite really had that consistent game time. Whereas in the first season, as you can see, just there, the first season he played, the 2022-23 season he played in Holland, 28 games, 5 goals, 1 assist, and most of them were 90 minutes. And he's now captain, Volendam. He's been the captain of the last few games. He's got pedigree. And even though he's been out for most of this season, he's come back in this season and he's instantly took it. And as you can see there from his heat map, yeah, right-sided centre-back, likes to go forward with the ball, likes to progress the ball forward. They do, I've looked at them playing out from the back, they do play out from the back, they do try and maintain a possession-based system. Obviously, it's difficult. Volendam, they're not one of the lowest rated in terms of values of players in their team. But he's definitely a gem they've got. And I think if you're offering a fair enough fee, I think they'll take it. The thing is, last season, at the end of the Eredivisie, 28 appearances, 5 goals, 1 assist. He was unbelievably solid in that league. Of good players in there as well. And this year, I think if he'd have started off at the tempo in which he did last season, there's probably a question that we won't be able to get him where we currently are. top 3 in the championship, top 4 in the championship. But actually, given the start with injuries and illness this season, I think there's a little market here of now till the end of the season where in this window where you probably could get him in the championship and be part of that promotion chasing side and a step away from the Premier League where he was obviously at Chelsea. It's an interesting one for me, but I'll get into his attributes and why I like him right now. It's a solid player. Move my head to the middle, right there. I've got his career stats, and again, looking at his 23-24 stats, you have to take it into context that he played, I think, 3 games at the start of the season, then he's only been back for 3 games. Since he's been back, he's been solid. His stats are ridiculous since he's been back, and he's been the captain. He's come straight back into it, and it's not took him time at all to get back into the flow of things, which really says a lot about the way he keeps himself and the way he holds his body, because that's very good for him, very impressive. And look at his full season of 2022-23. Successful actions, 64.7%, 65 per game. That's impressive. Pass accuracy of 79%. Long range passes, 45%. A lot of that pass accuracy was put down by that long range. And we'll get into it more, but that's something you could probably improve on, the decision making in long range passing. But in terms of like final third pass, 65%. That's decent for a centre back that plays those kind of risky, aggressive passes. And then you look at his defensive stats and they're solid. Physically, he's 6'5". He's massive, physical unit. He's got this kind of aura about him when he's on the pitch that everything looks simple to him. It looks easy. He doesn't look to be struggling. He doesn't look like a deer in front of the headlights. He looks calm and calculated at all times. 68% defensive duels won. That's 7.1 per game. That is unbelievable, by the way. Loose ball duels 57. He's also very solid. And aerial duels 54. Decent. Probably could be slightly higher for a guy of his height. But solid stats all around there for a centre-back. And this season, again, it's a smaller size. But successful actions is 70%. That's already improved. Accurate passes is already higher. Long passes, higher. Final third passes, slightly lower. It makes more per game, almost double per game, 8.4. Defensive duels, similar. Loose ball duels, higher this season. And aerial duels, higher. So, although he's come back from injury and illness, he started the season very strong, and it's not affected him in any way, shape, or form. And that's important for me. And there was talk in the summer about him leaving. A bigger club needs to take him because he's clearly ready. And look, can he play in the Premier League? I think he could. Right now, though, I'd argue it might be a year too early. He needs that constant playing in a physical league to understand his limits. Obviously, I'd say that, but for me, I think it'd be a great move. I think it'd be an unbelievable signing for me. And you think about it as well with Pascal out, we don't know how long that is. He comes in and he kind of, I guess he's a right-sided centre-back, but at the end of the day, he has played in his first season, he played both sides, so he's comfortable on both sides. And at the end of the day, it's a calm presence that just slots in the defence and just does his job. Key strengths and key weaknesses from this player. And again, this is based on not just technical attributes, it's physical attributes, mental attributes that I've seen from watching him play. Physicality, I mean, he's 6'5" and he's big. He's very physical, uses his body well. He's fairly quick, not rapid, but fairly quick, fairly decent pace. Mentality, again, coming back into the team, having been out for most of the season, coming back into it with unbelievably solid stats. And I want to get into that. I want to say a few real quick. So he came back into the game. He's played the last 3. He's played 90 minutes, 76 and 77. And when he came on in the last 2 games, when he's back to fitness, he's had a 78% successful rate. Last week, in the last game, he had an 84% success rate in his games, which is just mental. And if you look at his success rate here, 64, and then this season 79. In the last 2 games, he's had 79 or above, which is ridiculous. And if we quickly look at passes, 89%, 85% success rate. Defensive duels, 80%, 92%. Aerial duels, 100% and 33%. Apart from 33. Duels, he won 12 of 15, 80%, and 11 of 12 the last 2 games. 2%. He's back, and being out has not affected him, and he looks stronger. That's it. That's all that. Composure, presence, short and medium pass detail. I don't mind a guy that's a ball playing centre back, but when you look at them, actually watch them pass the ball, what's the detail like? Is the pass quick? Is it bobbly? Is it right to the man? Is it in front of the man? Is it on his instep? Because I hate when people say, oh, he's a ball playing centre back because his success rate's high. They actually look at the pass details. He's passing it 3 yards. When he tries forward passes, they're quite bobbly and slow. This guy's a good pass detail. Like Pascal Strout when he whips that ball into midfield or out wide. Good pass detail. Important for me. Defensive basics, solid defender. The basics there. Key weaknesses, long passing. I think the decision making of passing, of long, often goes into 50-50 areas when maybe there could be a bit more pace on it at times, and he does it a bit too often. That's a little one. Fitness, I've just put basically when you come into the Championship or the English League, there's that physical demand that isn't probably in Eredivisie as much, and it's just about that. Can he live up to that thing? I think he could, but it's definitely something you can consider, right? And adaptability, again, Volendam playing a back 3. It's about, can he play in a back 2? Again, I think he can. But that is definitely a question. So they're questions you need to figure out from this guy. But yeah, unbelievably talented player. Played in England before for Chelsea. Like most of their youth players left, but didn't take the loan route, left the club. Just been patient in Holland and have 2 excellent seasons back to back. And this season, of course, really galvanising and coming back into the season better than before, to be honest. Now's the time for this one. Valued at around 2 million, but you're probably looking more than that, let's be honest. But yeah. Let me know what you guys think about that one. And we've got one more. Josh Flint. Next one's Josh Flint. Now, this is one that most people won't know. And this is one for me who could be that backup to Pascal Struijk. Again, thinking of the players we've got going or leaving and how different the defence could look either at the end of this window or the end of the summer. Having a backup who's on an upward trajectory to back up Struijk for me is important. And for me, Josh Flint is that guy. Especially this season, I think it'd work really well. Again, you can't get it'd be difficult to get a top loan for me. I know Chris Metham has been mentioned and that'd be a good loan, but again, will he be asking for minutes and will he play? How long Struijk out for is that question, right? For me, you've got Josh Flint, again, plays for the same team. Was at Bournemouth, was at Portsmouth as a youngster, again. Got released from Portsmouth, I believe, or left very early and went to Volendam in 2019, I believe. And what he's done there is he's worked it through the ranks. He went to the second team, the second tier. And this season, last season he had a breakthrough at the end, in periods of it. But this season, he started the season on fire and he's played most 90 minutes at left centre back. And this guy's a left centre back, left footed. It's that other side, that Pascal Struijk relationship. 6'3", 23 years old. Valued at $500,000. Joke. And this is the of his head. This is the kind of the dialogue, I guess, that I can show you here of his playing career. Again, I want to highlight when it came in 2020-21, how patient he's been to have that breakthrough. And then 2021-22, played 15 games in the second division of Holland, the Netherlands. Then kind of moved up to Eredivisie 2022-23 last season. Played 12 games, so had constant, involvement in the squad. But this season, in just 13 games, already made 13 starts. Started, I think, almost every game, bar one where he was injured, I believe, at the start of the season. He's played every game and he plays 90 minutes most games. He's already played more minutes than last year, easily. Playing every game, starting for them every game. And there you can see it below. You can see down here, look, 11 minutes, 90, 90, 12, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90. Yeah, he plays every single game for them. He's a centre-back, can do left-back, but yeah, he's a centre-back, left centre-back, very good left centre-back in terms of, his basics and playing, but you can see the heat map. And it's trajectory with this one for me. Whereas Xavier is probably a ready starter now, one that can really push. This guy's, for me, a good backup who's on a good trajectory. And as you can see how patient he's been, and now, finally, halfway through the season, playing every minute. As you can see down here, they're all 90s, bar 2. It's a player that is doing that. And if you can get him now at a lower value as a backup, brilliant. You do get those injuries. He slots straight back in. You don't have to talk about it. You don't have to worry. Now we'll get into his stats. And this is trajectory, and this is what I mean for me. Right, I'll just put my face over aerial duels. So compared to his 22 to his 23 season, so this season, everything, key aspects that I'm looking at of this player are higher. It's the same stats we have with Xavier. Successful actions, 71% in the league. That's very good. That is very good. Accurate passes, 87%, up from 81. He's upped his successful actions by 10% from last season. Long passes are upped by 15%. Final third pass percentage is up by 15%. Defensive duels won is up by 5%. And then you've got loose ball duels as well, which is up by about 13%. And then aerial duels is down by 6%. But again, that's the only thing. Everything else and everything about this guy and his minutes he's played, how important he is to the team, the consistency of his play, and the key stats that I'm looking at here for a centre-back that will work in our system, or the basic principles of defending and playing out from the back and a ball-playing centre-back, are up. That's trajectory. And this now is where the players took that slow route to try to get to the potential he can. At 23, reaching that, seeing now, believing in himself. He is a player. Start to show it. He's increasing season by season. Last year was a good foothold to show that he can play in the Eredivisie, and this season he's playing every game in the Eredivisie, and he's playing well. Everything he's done is up on last year. That's trajectory, and that's where a value starts to shoot up. This could be one Leeds could look at. Sneak in there early, get him as a backup, get him challenging those centre-backs. And you don't know what his trajectory could be in the future. So let's be honest, it's going up a lot. You're talking 12, 13, 14, 15% for each stat. That's impressive. Start the season really well. And yeah. Yeah, they're kind of two options. And again, I've got like 15 others that I think we're going to do a show on Joe's in a few days or a week something. So there'll be more there, don't worry. But these two, I thought it's nice they're in the same team. They are playing together now. They're both back and fit. For me, different type of players. One can play the left, one can play the right. Playing a back three. That's the only kind of playing a back four. Yeah, I think one now in Xavier is in that up trajectory in terms of he's more known. There will be other bigger clubs looking at him. Can we get in there? More difficult potentially given because we can't guarantee him game time because of the challenges we have. But we can say, look, we go up this season, you're in the Premier League, then you're challenging for a spot. Good player, solid player. Real calm presence in the defence and solid fundamentals. Decent on the ball. And then we've got Josh Flint, who went through that story of not being accepted, taking defeat and making it a triumph. He's on an upward trajectory. He's playing really solid football and showing a lot of promise now. Two different types of players, different types of reasons, but both centre-backs. And we need, arguably, both areas to be sorted, given the problems we have there. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. I took a long time finding these players and deciding which ones to use for this video. And because of the same club, and I like how different they are, but how they both work, I chose these two. There's more, but these are the two I like. Let me know what you guys think. I appreciate all the support as well. Always, can we get to 3K? That'd be crazy. Yeah. I'll see you soon.